Well, hello, friends. Welcome to Coming Down. My name's Nathan. I'm sitting down with Matthew.
Good day.
How are you doing there, Mr. Scratchy Voice?
I'm a little froggy. I gotta admit. Yeah, doing my deep baritone thing today.
So you just came out of the fryer, so to speak, with the flu, and now you're getting a cold.
I survived Ebola, and now I'm just getting slapped in the face with a little cold.
Yeah.
Because the season hasn't been weird enough.
Well, it's winter and you work with the public, so...
Dude, I realized this today. I work in a fucking petri dish. Like, we do children's theater, like, we did Harry Potter this fucking weekend with the symphony, and there was, like, 1 million people there in Harry Potter costumes.
Oh,
ridiculous.
Gosh.
And it was just, like, there were so many people in one space that their breath was condensing on, like, cold surfaces and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just like, is there gonna be fucking rave rain in here? Like, this is bizarre,
Weird Hogwarts rave rain.
Right. Just a bunch of sweaty nerds, like, fogging it up. Yeah.
Oh, man.
It was cool, though, like,
No, I get sick substantially less now that I don't work with the public. It's crazy how that works. Maybe I'll do a whole pod on this. I don't know. It's not a long story, but when I was 19, I got chicken pox.
Ugh.
And I knew it was from just working at a gas station, and handling grubby money from grubby kids. And, we were the gas station right outside the movie theater, so we got pretty busy. And, yeah, it's just like, I knew it, I don't know. It had to have come from one of my customers, so...
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you had... just a breeze of chicken pox waft through your house,
Right, yeah. If I weren't out there handling money and, dealing with the public, I'd never...
Money, yeah. Exactly. Ugh.
Yeah, it's so foul.
That's probably why I'm sick, is because we sold so much fucking water on this one station that, like, we call it honor water. Like, it's just a fridge that you can grab a water out of and put $2 in a drop box.
Oh, sure.
I have to personally count all that fucking money.
Ugh, yeah.
And we sold, like, hundreds of those fucking waters, so...
Yep. You don't know where that's coming from.
No, and, I mean, I'm pretty fastidious about washing my hands, but, dude, at fucking midnight, on a day when I worked 16 hours, like...
Yeah. I mean...
I might not have remembered to fucking do the hand sanitizer after that shit.
Yeah, totally. Gotta get one of those little, like, belt-clipped hand sannies,
Yeah, or just count money with gloves. Like, I think I might just start doing that,
Yep.
Jeez. Gross.
Yeah, what was it? Mythbusters proved that it was, like, phones are, like, the nastiest thing.
Oh, yeah.
But money is, like, right up there. It's, like, second or third. It's just, like...
Oh, God.
The most filthy, bacteria-ridden thing that you can come in contact with.
Right.
So.
And I use touch screens too, so that's...
Ugh. Yep, which is just a big phone, so, yeah. Well, fuck, man.
Way it goes.
Well, hopefully you get over this one quick and you're back in action here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, honestly, respiratory infections, like, I've got asthma.
Yeah.
They just go hand in hand, so...
Yeah.
Here we are.
Sucking on cough drops.
Got a little spicy lemonade with some tequila.
Nice. Right on. Well, you got any more stories from the Harry Potter shenanigans?
Oh, not from Harry Potter, but from Smokey Robinson, dude.
Oh, yeah?
So this dude on upper balcony was causing a ruckus, and the ushers asked him to leave, got him out into the lobby, where he partially disrobed, lay face down on the floor, urinated, and refused to get up.
Oh.
The police refused to respond. So
what?
Cheers, the fucking, the drunk tank crew, the body snatchers, as they're sometimes called, had to come in and help the person who was there with that guy to get him up off the floor and get him outside. And
was he just hammered?
Take him home. Yeah, real drunk.
Yeah, maybe some other stuff too.
Also, probably an elderly person. I think he was with a caretaker.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah, Smokey Robinson. Yeah, that's not really the show you expect someone to get super wily at, but,
and I tell you what, like, baby boomers do not know how to behave themselves.
It's true.
It's ridiculous. Like, they go out in public and think that they're, like, the only person in the universe, and that they don't have to wait in lines, and that they're more important than everyone else. It's fucking ridiculous.
Well, maybe you should have just told the police that he was with Antifa, and then they would have been right there. Because as we just learned, the Portland police have been colluding with Patriot Prayer and exchanging texts. So
I heard about that.
Hooray for Portland. Good one there.
Yeah, because the Portland police haven't fucked it up bad enough already. Like, fucking shooting homeless people every year, and, like, mentally challenged people, and fucking, racially profiling, and the list goes on and on and on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's fucking sad.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad to feel like you live in this progressive, liberal city, and then your police force is just completely corrupt and fucked up.
Yeah, not even just corrupt and fucked up, but, like, politically fucking hostile.
Yeah, totally.
Like, against the grain of their community.
Right.
That's and we're paying them with our fucking taxes.
Yep.
It's fucking insane. My sister, in fact, I should mention this. My sister has a friend who just maybe yesterday or the day before was getting out of her car, and two white males in a pickup truck or in an SUV, like a red Bronco, pull up and throw an unopened can of beer at her right at her fucking face.
Whoa.
It broke her glasses and cut her cheek open.
Whoa.
And she's probably only still has her fucking eye because she was wearing glasses.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so, like, heads up, LGBTQ plus community.
And that's like, what it was. They targeted her.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention this. They said, die if you fucking dyke.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Damn. That's fucked up, man. I'm really sorry to hear that, dude.
Yeah.
I hope your sister's doing okay.
Yeah, well, she is, and she's offering rides to, all of her friends who, don't want to, like, be out in public with this shit going on because they're actively targeting queer folks,
Wow.
So, like, heads up out there. Be safe, everybody. Goddamn. That's just fucked up.
That's really cool of her to do that, and I'll even right here take that same stance too of any listeners. If you are in a situation where you feel like you need to, have a safe ride home, tweet at me, email me. That shit comes to my phone. Heads up. Yeah. I will buy you a lift. I will come get you.
Absolutely.
We need to stick together on this stuff, and I will commit to helping you out, know? Because fuck that.
I'll second that. I don't have a car, but we have a strong community and a great network, so seriously, hit us up.
Yep.
If you're feeling unsafe.
Yep, absolutely. Wow, man. Well, all right.
Yeah.
Well, that's a little bit of a downer.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mean to bring it down, but fuck, man, like, that, the word needs to get out,
Yeah.
Like, and I'm glad you brought it up, because fuck. Scary out there right now.
Yeah, boy, it sure is. It's a trying times, to put it lightly. So, well, luckily, our to segue out of that, luckily, our story this week is one of those kind of funny coming of age stories.
Oh my god, it's a gem.
Yeah, and so we got a guest on this week. Our friend Sarah came on, and she tells a great story. And you've known Sarah for a good while, so
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's cool. We're all friends, and there's a lot of yucks, a lot of chuckles,
for sure.
Oh, hey, looks like our guest is here for this evening. So,
indeed,
if you enjoy the show and you want to help us out, just you can go to patreon.com/comingdownpod. We've got a $1 tier if you want to pitch $1 or anything else, just to help us keep the show running. We really appreciate that, and we've got some stuff coming down the pipe for that soon. I think we're recording a bonus episode next week, so
absolutely,
that'll be cool. And if you want to hit us up, Twitter @comingdownpod or Gmail, that's comingdownpod@gmail.com. Just hit us up for any reason if you need a ride, or if you just want to let us know what you think of the show. We'd love to hear from you. Everything else, all the links and everything is going to be on the mothership. That's comingdownpod.com. They'll have the links to everywhere you can listen to the show. That's going to be on Spotify, Google Play, SoundCloud, YouTube, Apple, and you can give us a rate and a review on Stitcher if you got the time. Beyond that, let's just get it.
Yeah.
worst type of libertarian.
Yeah, well, I like libertarians who are just fiscal Republicans who want to smoke weed, you know? Like,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
those people I can get along with, but it's the ones who are like, I want to fucking kill all the fucking black people and shoot guns. It's like, wait.
And they want to kill all the liberals and
Yeah.
stuff. You're just like, dude, no.
Dude, big win that fucking guy who killed that protester in Charlottesville with his car is looking at potentially getting life.
Right.
Oh, he's definitely getting life.
Is he definitely getting life
Well,
now?
yeah, like the jury recommended life just for killing Heather Hare, and then he has like 10 other charges against him.
Because he injured a bunch of other people too,
yeah,
right?
Totally. And
When he like threw it in reverse
yeah, it's
or
like
whatever.
he's looking at
and,
like 9 years just for fleeing the scene of the accident, let alone fucking all the other like shit.
No, and it's like crazy. I was reading some things, and yeah, he was like to, you know, the like prosecutors and the press and all of that, he was trying to be like, I didn't realize, like, I did, like, I feel terrible knowing that, like, I hurt people. I didn't think I was hurting anyone. But then, like, there's like he's quoted like talking to his mom saying like, they deserve it, mom, because his mom's like actually an activist on the other side, and she's like, why would you do this or whatever. And he's like, they deserve it, mom, they're like all a bunch of fucking commie Jews or whatever he said. And he was just like, no, I like, and she kept like even just asking for him to be remorseful, and he was like, no, mom, like this is like my calling or whatever.
Right.
So it's just like, you piece of shit, you're full of shit, like you actually like, this is premeditated. It's very clear as day.
Yeah. He injured 17 other individuals.
Yeah.
It's fucked.
Yeah. He's a domestic terrorist. I mean, he got convicted, I think it was like, of at least 25 years?
No, he's getting life now, right?
Or he's getting life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he's getting life for sure.
And he might get executed because the state in which he got convicted has executions.
They do, but the jury didn't recommend death penalty for any of his charges.
They should have, though.
But I guess the judge in that case typically sides with the jury on their like sentencing recommendations. So yeah,
I don't think that a death sentence is better than a life sentence. Or I mean, more of a punishment than a life sentence. I think that it's a way out.
I mean, sure, it's a way out.
If you're concerned that someone is going to escape and commit their crimes again, I feel like, yeah, a death sentence is warranted. But man, there's nothing worse than spending the rest of your life in maximum security. Like,
dude, but death row is insane because, like, if you do get the death penalty, you still spend 20 years, like, in prison,
in like solitary confinement,
you know,
with like
with
never
impending
talking to
like
anyone.
death coming. They actually, I just read this article about this guy that they just executed, and I guess his final words were like, "Well, it beats being on death row."
Holy shit!
Yep.
Are we recording?
Yeah, totally.
Thank God.
Wow.
That says a lot. Jesus.
Wait, we are? Holy
Yeah,
shit.
totally.
No, this is how we do it. Yeah, I just want to make sure. Like,
Yeah, I just start
man.
the mic and then, you know, we'll get into it whenever, but...
Dude.
Okay.
Fucking. Oh. Wow. Beats death row. All right.
I was reading, like, it was like a BuzzFeed or a Cracked or something of all these, like, crazy last meals, but there's this inmate, and I cannot remember. I guess, like, maybe we'll show notes it on this one, but some inmate ate a Bible for his last meal.
What?
Yeah.
Did he at least deep fry it? Like,
No, he
Oh my
just, like,
God.
ate it page by page. Just like, yes, dude.
With water?
no,
Probably with water, but
I would smoke a Bible.
maybe gravy. I don't know.
I would definitely smoke a Bible. I don't know that I could eat a Bible.
Oh, man. With my last meal, I'd ask for some weed or some really nice oil to smoke it with or something.
highly
like
doubt they would give you
I don't.
that.
Yeah, I don't think that's on the prison menu. But I'm not entirely certain.
that. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, Google knows.
Yeah.
You know, maybe in Canada or California, potentially.
Washington. Does California still have the death penalty?
No, I'm just saying, like, maybe they would have weed on their menu if you're a medical patient. I doubt it. I don't think that inmates get medical marijuana. And in fact, like, I feel like I can
No
just
way.
unequivocally say that penitentiary inmates don't have any access to marijuana that's not illegal.
No, of course not. Even in legal states, absolutely not.
I can neither confirm nor deny allegations that a family member of mine smoked weed out of a lock on his prison cell.
Yeah.
He also said that the best acid he got in his life was in prison.
Yeah.
But it was also minimum security prison for, like, growing weed in the 90s, you know?
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, a friend of mine did, like 30 days for, I think, Dewey's, and he said he smoked a joint in jail, and I'm trying to remember how he said they lit it, because someone smuggled a joint in, and then it was like they took apart, like, some sort of electronic thing that they had access to, and, like, sparked wires together to, like, light this joint.
Like a radio.
They hot wired a joint?
Basically, yeah.
Holy shit.
That's fucking beautiful.
That's fucking stoner ingenuity, dude.
Yeah, I mean, you figure out a way. You know?
I've lit joints with a stove, like an electric stove, and felt like I was MacGyver. That's a whole new level. You know what I'm saying? God damn.
Yep.
Wow.
Shit.
Hot wiring a joint.
That sounds hot.
Yep.
Let's jumpstart this motherfucker.
All right.
All right.
Burn it down. Anyway.
All right, Sarah. You got a story for us?
I do have a story for you.
Cool.
Is my voice loud enough?
Oh, yeah.
You probably, yeah. I mean,
don't
you're-
worry about it. Like, we can hear us when we're in the kitchen, so, like, just talk in your normal voice. You're good.
Yeah, just talk normal. You're good to go.
Yeah, just pretend there's no microphone. We're just hanging out talking.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. This story starts about 1993 in Newberg, Oregon. I just turned 14. It's probably around August sometime. Hanging out with 3 of my other girlfriends.
Now,
I'm gonna name them.
did you grow up in Newburgh?
Yes,
Okay.
I did. Wasn't born there, but I grew up there. Parents were weird hippies. Didn't like the hospital in Newburgh, so
How long did you lived in Newburgh at this time?
for 14 years.
Oh, okay. You said you weren't born there, but you moved there.
No,
So-
my parents lived in Newburgh. They didn't like the hospital in Newburgh, so they drove to Forest Grove. So I was born in Forest Grove,
Okay.
and yeah, parents
Cool.
were weird fucking hippies. Who the fuck knows?
Hey, I mean, fuck Newburgh. Let's go to Forest Grove.
They didn't like the doctor in Newburgh for whatever reason. They never actually told me why, but
Well,
that's just how it was, you know. So 1993, hanging out with 3 of my other girlfriends. We're all 14, just kind of hitting 14. It's the summer, right before, freshman year in high school.
All right.
And one of us goes, hey, we should get drunk before we start high school. You know?
Yeah, solid plan.
Because
Yeah,
what if we get
natural.
invited to a party and, like, we all take a drink of our first beer and act like a noob, and people are like, don't invite them to parties.
Oh, wow. So this wasn't like, let's just have some fun before
No,
our last
it
year of
would-
high school. This is like premeditated, like just, no, this is purely for training purposes
Yes,
that we
exactly.
need to get drunk.
yeah. Scientific research.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Clearly,
Yeah. So,
just getting your shit together.
not being asked
By getting wasted.
at the first, like, high school party you get invited to.
Yeah.
And embarrass all your friends and shit
And
like that.
y'all had never been drunk before?
No,
Okay.
never been drunk before.
Just trying to do some research.
Yeah. We were being logical about
So,
this, you know?
so what'd you decide on? Because nobody ever picks the right thing to get drunk on early.
Very true. Very true. Well, we all accumulated $20 together. It was, 4 of us all together.
Luxury.
And we went to this mini mart, which was on the other side of Newburgh, other side of Main Street, basically.
You cross the street.
Yeah, we crossed the street.
Okay.
We're on the other side of town.
Yeah, exactly. There was one side of town, and there was another side of town. And it all crossed between Main Street.
That's funny.
Wow.
And the mart was called Mini Mart. Just,
Classic.
You know, they're not mincing words there.
no. It might have even been Main Street Mini Mart.
Ooh.
Who can say?
Aptly named, you know. We'll
Right.
try to find a photo for the show notes.
We have to go back so far.
In this historical photo, you can see the Main Street Mini Mart.
Exactly. So, we have to shoulder tap.
Oh, yeah.
See? That's a real fucking term, dude.
Okay, yeah. See, we called it Hey Mister. Or like Hey Mistering someone. Because you'd stand outside the liquor store and be like, Hey Mister, you buy me a six-pack or whatever.
My tone there was kind of accusatory. I'm pretty sure you always believed me that was
I believe you, yeah.
but we have corroboration here.
Okay. So shoulder tapping.
Yeah.
You know, hey, mister, whatever.
No,
yeah.
I mean, I honestly feel like "Hey, Mister" is a very clever turning of phrase. Shoulder tapping, you know.
Same thing. I mean, we didn't actually physically touch
No,
the person on the shoulder or anything like
God
that.
forbid that you actually tap someone on the shoulder.
We might get stabbed or something at that point.
Just as an aside, like the whole reason this came up is I was asking Nate, like, has anyone ever shoulder tapped you for the weed store? And he's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, oh, you know, when you like go to the liquor store and you're like, hey, will you buy me this when you're underage? Like there was a kid at the weed store who was like, hey man, you going to the pot shop? And I was like, no. All right, cool.
And then watch you walk into the pot shop.
That would have been a real dick move. But no, I was like, wow, so that's a thing now. Like,
Yeah.
What? Kids actually shoulder tap you to find weed when you could just buy it underground?
Think about it, Sarah. No, think about it. How much underground weed is there these days?
Yeah, is there even any black market weed?
There is, and it's like just as cheap, if not cheaper.
No, that's only if you know somebody who's growing it or who is like actually like moving weight. Like we're adults now, so of course, clearly, if you're a federal
allegedly.
agent, we don't actually know anyone who grows weed. But like, my God, you know, I mean, if you've ever met someone in the industry, like, it's,
however, when I was a kid,
it's really easy. But here's the deal. Here's the deal. Like, no one fucking sells weed anymore.
Oh yeah, technically.
Just as like to make it cheaper for themselves.
Right.
Because you can get an ounce for like $80 at the fucking weed shop.
Even cheaper than that.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes like under 50.
You know what I'm saying? And so, like, what the fuck is the point
Ridiculous.
of trying to sell eights? Like,
Yeah.
come on, you know? Like,
You're like selling $3, $5.
so the
$8.
whole bottom has dropped out of the black market on weed.
That's true.
So for high school kids to get weed, either they have to know somebody who knows a grower, or they got a fucking shoulder tap.
Yeah, if they don't have an older brother or sister, you know, then yeah, you're out there hustling.
Right, and this is what the rest of the country hasn't realized about legalized marijuana. Is if you want something to be fucking less of a criminal thing and also less easy for children to get by nature of how this fucking shit works, then make it easy for adults to get. And then they won't have to fucking go to like the guy from the gas station or the fucking
coke dealer,
their taxi driver or their coworker in the kitchen, you know,
Yeah.
like whatever your fucking hookup used to be. Like nobody fucking has that hookup anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's just so much easier to go to the weed shop.
Was there ever a cook in a restaurant that didn't sling bags on the side?
I've never met him.
I've never met him either.
You know? And I was that guy a couple of times.
All right, anyhow, go on. So you're buying liquor, or you're buying something.
I'm trying to shoulder tap. 2 people, doesn't work out. 3rd person, so close, like thought about it. It didn't work out. Then all of a sudden my friends were like, okay, it's your turn to ask. I'm like, oh, okay. And the next person that walks by us, because we're on the side of the building, on like the west side of the building, just like waiting. This guy like walks by, starts walking by. He's smoking a cigarette. He just throws the cigarette on the ground. Doesn't even care. Doesn't stop it out or anything like that. And I'm like, hey. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, would you? And he's like, oh, you ladies want me to buy some alcohol for you. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, we do. He's like, how much you got? 20? And he's like, y'all want something? And we're like, yeah. He's like, give me that 20. We're like, okay. He takes the 20, goes inside.
Wait, did you give him an order?
No, we didn't even know what we wanted. We just wanted
dealer's
something.
choice. Yeah. Here's $20.
Yeah.
We didn't know what the fuck we were buying. Like, we didn't even know what to buy.
Right.
Like,
Okay, well, I hope he got you something cool, so go on.
Right.
less than 10 minutes later, he comes out and he's got 2 brown paper bags full of something, and it's clanking together, and he passes one to one of us and another one to one of us, and he's like, that'll be for you. And he's like, what do you want me to do with the change? We're like, oh, you keep it. And he's like, cool, I already bought myself some smokes. And then he walks off.
Nice.
See, that's like the fucking gold standard of the hey mister right there is like
Yeah.
the guy who like already knew he was going to buy himself some smokes and was just like, man, I'm gonna fucking get some smokes off these little girls right here.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the couple of times I have hey mistered people successfully, they're like, all right, well, you know, like give him a 20 or whatever. And it's like, we want this. He's like, all right, well, give me 5 more because I'm gonna get myself a 40 or whatever. So.
Well, and it was usually a bum, and like he was usually like, I'm gonna get a fucking steel reserve, and like, what else do you want? You know?
Yeah.
And God bless the bums who are willing to buy booze for children. Like,
Yeah, seriously.
you know,
Seriously. Yeah.
where
Thank
would
you.
we have gotten drunk otherwise?
It's true. I
Nowhere.
mean, stealing from your parents' liquor cabinet.
Right, and then
Well,
getting
yeah, I
busted
mean-
the very next day because they were like, they checked that shit.
My father once told me what his father told him, which was, I would rather you steal my booze than water it down.
Yeah, right?
Because if I ever find out that you watered down my whiskey, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Holy shit, I watered down my parents like fucking booze all the time after I drank the first time. The story is.
And I agree with my dad. Like, honestly, just don't fucking wreck my booze.
Yeah.
You know, like, if you're going to steal it, you're going to steal it. And I'll probably find out either way. But, like, if you water it down, it's useless to me because you fucked it up.
However, now in my older age, I kind of like my booze watered down.
Well, sure, when you drink it, though. Like, you got to understand, when you add water to alcohol and it sits there, it oxidizes and it fucks it up.
Yeah.
You know, water has oxygen in it, and oxygen is the bane of all alcohol. You know, when it's at that high proof and it doesn't have any water in it, it's stable. But you add water and it starts changing, the oils release, you know, it's...
Still, it's kind of funny.
Sure, but I'm just saying, like, I thought that was hilarious that my dad was like, fucking drink my booze.
Line in the sand,
Just
boy.
Never, ever water it down. I mean, I'll understand if you drink it. That's what we all do. Watering it down is a cardinal sin. And, you know, it stuck with me to this day.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, didn't mean to fucking sidetrack us that much, but,
Yeah, yo, dud.
so, yeah.
So what did he give you?
He got his Mad Dog. 2020.
Oh, man. God damn it. See?
I mean,
4 of them, no
he
less.
knew, but also, god damn it.
Yo.
That stuff is so savage.
Oh, it is
It's
vile.
malt wine, right?
Well,
It's grain alcohol. With
It's
sugar.
vodka, right?
Well, if you call grain alcohol vodka,
So, but it also, isn't it still classified as wine?
Yeah.
it is, but
like
only very
fortified
loosely.
wine.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it has fermented grape juice in it, which is why they can call it wine. But all of the booze is just really the grain alcohol.
Yeah.
and then
So it's just wine and Everclear
Wine,
sloshed together a little bit?
like Everclear's better than grain alcohol. Well, okay, Everclear is probably just grain alcohol.
That is
You're
just, like, the most rowdy grain alcohol.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's a little bit of like really young wine.
Yeah.
Like they let it ferment to like 2 or 3%. They fucking
Wow.
throw a shitload of fucking malt liquor in there, and then
I don't think we have to explain to most of our listeners how vile Mad Dog is, but for those who have never experienced it, don't.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
terrible.
don't. It's the
Yeah,
worst.
Yeah.
if you want to get a real corn syrup drunk going, then it's
Yeah.
a way to do it.
Yeah, it
But,
is. It's just cough syrup, alcohol, wine, garbage. Ah, it's terrible. It's so bad.
Yeah.
Well, so fitting. So
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
like if you're gonna buy children booze,
You
You're
might
gonna
as
want
well
Mad
get that.
Dog.
Yeah, obviously.
fuck.
And they don't actually tell you what to get. Like,
Right.
choose that.
Right.
Win-win, you know?
yeah.
And,
Yeah, it's like that and like
yeah.
Southern Comfort, right?
Boone's Farm,
Yeah, Boone's.
Oh, yeah, Boone's Farm. Ugh.
little strawberry ripple.
Yeah. Ugh, God. All right, so then, so then, what'd you do with your Mad Dog?
Well, across the street, there was a park. And it was, you walked down this staircase, and it was into, like, a gully kind of deal. And it was called, oddly enough, Paranoia Park
Okay.
by the kids.
Oh, okay. It's like that was the real name.
No. I mean, the city didn't call it that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
kids,
no,
young
it
people.
makes a lot more sense now. Yeah.
You go there if you didn't want anyone to know what you were doing, basically. And no adults actually ever went there.
And
Like,
cops didn't like roll through there.
No, they didn't. Oddly
Cool.
enough, like because there was only like 2 staircases and they were like slants down. So, like, they'd have to, like, jaunt up there and jaunt down.
Oh, yeah.
And it was huge in this, like, giant gully kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And there was, like, a weird reservoir in between it. So, like, there would be, like, bums down there. But...
So you went to drink with the bums.
But you could just keep to your own. Like,
but you
go
could.
ways
There was
away or
picnic
whatever.
benches everywhere. We found a picnic bench that was, like,
Oh,
underneath
no,
some
I get it. Like,
trees
you
kind of
weren't,
area.
you weren't going down in the gully. You were just going to the park. Got
Yeah,
it, got
and
it.
the park
Okay.
was in this, like, little, like... gully kind of like area, and it went down. So like cops didn't really go down there.
Right.
They
That's
couldn't,
why the
like-
bums chose that place to drink.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It was the perfect place to go drink in public, you know, whatever. And there would always be like kids like carving things on trees or picnic benches or like starting fires down there.
It was
Like,
a community site for vandalism.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just
makes
doing
sense.
shenanigans or smoking weed or whatever the fuck.
Mischief
You know?
Park. That's what
Yeah.
I should have called it.
Yeah,
Mischief
right?
Park. Right, exactly. That's what it should have been called.
Hooligan Park.
Shenanigans Park.
Yeah, you know, I
Just turned kids park.
but I love that it was you all called it Paranoia Park.
Yeah.
I mean, like we had a spot where everyone sold drugs in our park, and like the best name that we came up for it was Drug Hill. Like so fucking lame. I mean, like it was next to Mirror Pond. I feel like we could have came up with so many better names for that shit, and it was just like, nope, gonna go to the Drug Hill.
I mean,
Gonna try to buy some weed.
That's such a good name, too, in case someone overhears you talking
Yeah.
about where you're going, you know? Like, oh, yeah, we're just going to Drug Hill. Like, oh, nothing could be going on there.
Clearly. Yeah, I mean, why would you call it that unless it's a code word for something innocuous? Because,
Yep.
no, fucking hell.
You know, right next to Dealer's Corner.
Idiot kids.
I don't know.
Damn
Paramount Park sounds pretty
No, it's great.
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Wonderful.
So we find a picnic bench. We sit down. We open up the bags, and we're like, okay, cool. This looks like thing. You know, we didn't know shit about alcohol. We didn't even know
Right.
what this was.
You
We
didn't
were
know
just
how strong it was.
We didn't know how strong it was. We didn't know what the percentage or any of the
Sure.
words meant on it. We were just like,
You have bottles with booze.
yeah, exactly. We're like,
It's like,
cool.
we're Mad Dogs now.
We're like, we each get one. There was like 2 lemon limes, and
Oh,
there was 2
God.
strawberry bananas. I was
Oh,
like, I
Lord.
want the fruity one because I like sweet things. And then I'm gonna name my other friends Kay, Sel, and Sar.
You don't want to use first names?
I mean, I could.
That's usually how we do it. Like, unless you, like...
Yeah, you know, but we leave it up to everyone. If
Yeah.
you feel like it'd be weird to name people, you don't
Honestly,
have to name
I
them.
don't know.
I mean, it's just getting drunk as a kid. Like, usually we draw the line with, like, dangerous, illegal shit that people would probably be embarrassed about. But it's up to you.
I mean, I don't know if they would even watch, like, listen to this. I was
Yeah.
gonna say watch.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if it's more natural for you to just use their first names, like, feel free.
Okay, well then fuck it. Kelsey, Selena, and Sarah.
There we go.
All right.
Kelsey and Selena took the lemon lime, and Sarah. We took the strawberry banana. We're like, fuck it, we like fruity. We like it sweet. And
All right.
we open it up, and you know when you open a thing of booze, you can't help it, but you smell it.
Oh, yeah.
And I was
Sure.
like, I can't do this.
Smells like a sewer. Exactly.
It smelled horrible. And our friend Kelsey was like, fuck you bitches. Grabs her nose and just takes a giant swig.
Oh, no, the pinching of the nose. That's a...
And then I saw her cheeks go, and I was like, ooh.
Yeah, pounding it for your first drink?
And then she went, and a little spitter, like, splatter came out. But then she, like, swallowed it and then took another, like, little thing and then was like, it's fine.
I almost barfed it up, but we're good. Yeah, get in there.
She's like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. If you want to go to those parties, you got to drink that.
Oh my god, the pressure.
Yeah, it was so much pressure.
Do you want to be a cool kid? You gotta get drunk right now.
Right, and I was like, oh my god, there's so many high school parties I don't want to, like, embarrass myself at, potentially.
Right?
This is such a Mean Girls moment. I love it.
So all 3 of us, Selena, Sarah, myself, we just pinch our nose, take a swig. We do the exact same that Kelsey does. We're like, ooh, a little spittle comes out, and then we take a little sip, and we're like, oh, that was really terrible. And then I noticed Kelsey, like, starts smoking a cigarette, like,
really
while
good.
she, like, takes sips and smokes a cigarette, takes sips and smokes a cigarette.
Like, deaden your taste buds. Take a little more.
Right, so we all, like, start smoking a cigarette and, like, taking a sip, smoking a cigarette, take a sip. And after about, like, 4 or 5 sips, it doesn't taste as bad anymore. And we're like, oh, okay, this is not that bad. Yeah, we're cool. You know? We're cool, we got this. You know, we drink it about almost halfway. We're like, yeah, we're cool. And we're still sitting on this picnic bench. And we're like, oh, I don't even feel that drunk. Yeah, I don't feel that drunk either. And then my friend Kelsey, like, stands up off the picnic bench and, like, kind of falls down.
The stand-up test gets you every time.
Right, and we're like, oh, you so trashed! Ah! And then we all stand up and we're like, oh, we can't stand. How do you move your legs?
Legs, how do they work?
Yeah, how are these things? Yeah, and so we're like, what should we do now? We have, like, you know, half of this bottle still. All 4 of us have 4. We're like, fuck it, let's just leave it on this picnic bench. We don't care anymore.
We're drunk. We're just going to abandon our booze.
Yeah, we were
Honestly,
already pretty trashed at that moment.
I feel like that is a more responsible decision than most kids make with their bottles of MD 2020, because it's like, I've invested X amount of dollars in this and I'm going to get the maximum amount of enjoyment out of it, which just guarantees some kind of rainbow-colored vomit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. We're like, fuck it, let's go. Maybe the hobos will drink it or something like that. Somebody will enjoy
like
this, you know?
That's such a wise, community-minded decision.
Yeah, so we just left it. We start going up the staircase again. We're like, damn, these stairs are long. While we're smoking cigarettes, too, no less. We're, like, walking up these stairs. They're, like, going up like this, smoking cigarettes. We're like, it's so hard.
Climbing these stairs while we're smoking. It's just like, oh, God.
Who invented this? So we get up out of the park.
To the stairs.
And we're like, well, where should we go? And then we were like, oh, we'll go to Jimmy J's. Okay, Jimmy J's is this pool hall place in Newburgh. Grimy as fuck. All ages pool hall.
All ages pool halls. See, this used to be a thing. It doesn't exist anymore to my knowledge.
Yeah, no, it doesn't exist anymore that I know of.
For any potential young listeners at home, there was this glorious day where you could be 16, walk into a pool hall, which was also a bar, which typically also was an arcade.
Yep.
And just smoke cigarettes.
Yup.
And get people to buy you drinks sometimes.
Yep.
Oftentimes, that's where you went to go find weed.
Yep. Sometimes they'd have shows like,
yeah.
You know.
In my hometown, it was called Diamonds, and it was called, what was it called before that? Oh, shit, I do not remember. It turned into a place called Diamonds. Yeah, cool.
Here in
cut
Portland,
that out.
Sure you will. Yeah. Here in Portland, it was called the Viper Room.
Oh, yeah.
All ages club.
I've
yeah.
heard tales of the Viper Room.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, there's
shit.
also the Viper Room in L.A., which was like a real club.
Oh, you know what? That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. But
what I'm thinking
then
of.
they had an all-ages club here in Portland, which was the shady, shitty, not even close to its fucking clone kind of club.
Oh, man. Those were the days, man. We used to love just going down there.
Yeah. In Bend, it was the roller rink, which was, you know, not great. But
God damn it. Any of my friends that listen to this, text me and tell me what the name of that fucking arcade pool hall that we used to go to was. I just do not remember what it was called.
However, that place was... those places sound cool. Not as cool as this. This place was
Okay.
not that cool.
So...
Like, there was no alcohol at this place. It was a juice bar.
Weird.
what the fuck?
That was all ages. It had like 4 or 5 pool tables. It was basically a place that you could go and be underage, potentially, if you had a fake ID, or if, for whatever reason, someone decided to, everyone who walked in you got a stamp on your hand if you were over 18. If you showed ID that you were over 18, you got a stamp.
And what did that get you at this
It got
non-boozy
you were able
establishment?
to smoke cigarettes inside the establishment.
Smoke. There you go.
And occasionally, people would go outside to smoke because it was very smoky inside the establishment because they didn't have any ventilation system or anything.
What year is this again?
93.
God damn, this is so advanced for Newburgh in '93.
That's kind of what I was
Like
thinking.
we were
like
smoking
a juice bar.
We were smoking cigarettes at Sherry's in '93, and they didn't give a fuck.
We had a
you know?
Sherry's too, but I didn't want to go in there drunk in bright lights. Like, we were thinking dim lights.
Oh yeah.
Sherry's had bright lights in your town? I'm sorry.
Yeah, they did. It was
Our town, they
unfortunate.
were just too coated with nicotine to have any kind of actual luminosity.
I don't know. There was an assistant manager who just kept on changing light bulbs. I don't know what was going on over there.
Gross.
Yeah. And so, like, so we were like, we want to go there. And it was basically a place that, like, old men would go there. And at the time, 14 years old men were like 30 and 40-year-old men
Sure.
who would hit on young girls.
Yeah.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah. So sometimes you would get a guy who would come outside and you would be able to, like, lick his stamp and then, like, press it on your
Yeah.
arm so
Oh,
you
yeah.
could get in and be, like, smoke inside.
I remember stamps like that.
Classic move.
Yeah.
It's not like you wanted to hang out with that dude. You were just like, yeah, I'm flirting with you, whatever. But I just want your stamp. So I can smoke inside.
And it was only to allow you to smoke inside.
Yes, it was only
like,
to allow you to
Jesus.
smoke
Fuck,
inside.
yeah, it's not even to get in to see a cool band or something.
Or like,
Yeah.
or to drink, or to anything.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I just would like to.
I would like to smoke cigarettes indoors.
I'd like
Right.
to smoke this cigarette in here.
Because sometimes it would be better than smoking
Man, fuck
outside.
Newburgh.
Well, definitely.
Jesus Christ. In
Because-
93, they were that fucking fascist about kids smoking?
That was anywhere, I feel like. I don't know.
No, like, I'm telling you, in Bend, like, oh, man, like, they kicked us out eventually because we weren't buying anything, but, like, we'd go to Sherry's and buy a coffee and just smoke cigarettes for hours. Like,
Oh, dude, that was the thing in my hometown too, man. Like, yeah, we'd either go to the Denny's outside, like out by the highway, or the IHOP, and yeah, all you had to do was keep buying coffee at
Right.
50 cents a refill or
Right.
whatever, and you could sit there for 5 hours and fucking smoke cigarettes.
But
and
we
just-
were such fucking giant dicks that we were just like, no, keep refilling it. I fucking paid for it, and I will continue to chain smoke. Oh, you want me to leave? Well, I will take my business elsewhere. So.
And you're like, my business doesn't go anywhere.
and I'm taking this coffee to go.
Jesus.
Assholes.
I didn't ever do that. Like, I don't know.
You never
I
did the
didn't-
like sit around a diner chain smoking, ordering
I
basically
did-
nothing. thing?
I did chain smoke at diners and like Sherry's, but I like bought things. Like
Yeah.
I was
Well,
like,
I'm-
I knew
yeah.
that they had like an hour and a half limit, or they had a 2 hour and 15-minute limit. So I would like buy things incrementally, and I wouldn't like start shit.
But basically, we let them kick us out when we were done buying things. But,
Yeah.
sometimes we only bought that first cup of coffee.
Yep. And then just like
Decided to see how long it would last.
can we stay here?
Because it was free refills. Like, there was no opportunity to pay for 50-cent refills.
Oh,
It was
really?
just like, you're not going to keep refilling my coffee? I guess
I always
would
thought
have
like,
then,
where
yeah.
else would we go to like one of our fucking houses? No, I don't
No.
want to deal with parents.
No,
so
God, no.
I would pay. I would be like, we're all paying. Fuck off. We're paying this. We're gonna at
Well,
least.
yeah, that was
you
the
know.
winter time thing when you were
Right.
like, 14, 15, 16
Right.
or whatever. You just go to a diner and just
Yeah.
like, all right,
Exactly.
this is how we can kill 4 hours and
Yeah.
not have to go to anyone's house and not be outside in the elements.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
too cold to just go drive down a Forest Service road and get weird in the woods. So,
Right.
Yeah,
Which,
and
I
who
mean-
has a fucking license at 14 or 15? Like, you have to know a 16 or 17-year-old at that
Fair. I
point.
forget we're talking about 14. And in fact, let's be clear, I wasn't smoking cigarettes and Sherry's until I was like 16. So
Yeah, same here. I wasn't smoking until I wasn't drinking, honestly.
wait, what?
What do you mean?
Well, as a child, like,
Oh, you
this
didn't regularly
experience,
smoke.
this
Okay, got it.
experience that I'm
Right,
telling
right.
you about, I didn't start drinking again until I was like 16. Because it was...
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not going to go into it just yet, but
Yeah.
it was so
Right.
weird.
First
Well,
alcohol
that
experience
I
usually turns
didn't
people off.
Drink again until I was 16.
Fair enough. So anyway, you're in this pool hall and you're smoking.
Yeah, we get in. We don't have any stamps. We're like, fuck, we want to smoke cigarettes because, well, we were being very ridiculously silly. We were obviously
Got it.
intoxicated because we
Okay.
were stumbling around, giggling, and like being all like,
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
like a bunch of 14-year-old girls would.
Well, I was gonna
do.
say, like, 4 drunk 14-year-old girls, like, aren't making a scene here. Like,
No, we were making
Yeah,
a scene.
yeah, I bet.
We were making a hard scene. Hard scene. Like, all these dudes were like... And it was tons of dudes in there just playing pool. I guess they had nice pool tables. I don't know what the fuck. But
All right.
in my head, I'm like, no, they were just there for the underage girls because it was an all-ages pool hall.
a little from column A, a little from column B.
I mean, probably both, you know? And in my head, I'm like, I'm sure they were all like, ugh. But all, ugh.
Well, that's what I've never understood about all ages clubs is like if you're going to make a place for teenagers to hang out, make it an 18 and under club. Like,
Right, exactly.
yeah.
If you make it all ages, then it's just a meat market for fucking skis balls. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
God
Ugh,
damn it.
God.
Yeah. So one of my friends, Kelsey, she was like, I want to smoke a cigarette. It was like 5 minutes into us like walking in, and I'm like, well, we don't have a stamp, we can't do it. She was like, well, we have to get a stamp. And I'm like, how do we get a stamp? Ask the bouncer at the door. And she was like, no, we have to lick someone's stamp and press it against our breast to get it. And I was like, all right, good luck with that. And she was,
You're like, I am out on this plan.
Right.
yeah, I was like, I'm done. I'm the one that got us the alcohol. I feel like I don't have to say anything now. Like, I don't have to do nothing. And she was like, fine, I'll do it. She had huge, she still has huge boobs, but huge boobs for a 14-year-old woman. Like literally this. Literally this. Like,
Sarah's holding her hands about 6 inches from her chest.
Yeah, for the
our-
listener.
like literally this.
She's doing the huge tracts of land.
Like,
moves.
she was so tipsy,
huge
like,
tracts of land.
like we was constantly, even when she was sober, she was wiggly because her boobs were so big. Yeah. So we were just like, no, you go ask some dude if you could lick his stamp, or he could lick the stamp and then rub it off on our wrists. She went around and like asked every dude at the pool table, and like they're all like, no. Which is weird because usually they're like, yeah.
So it turns out there were less skis balls there that night.
Apparently, skis free.
or less skeezy, you know, that night. So we're like, fuck it, let's go outside.
Yeah, I mean, was there re-entry? Could you just go
Yeah,
outside?
you could just go
okay.
outside to the like parking lot, which was just
Yeah.
like this 3-car parking lot and the back door. And there's a front door and a back door. And so we just like went out on the back door and started smoking cigarettes. And I like took 2, maybe 3 drags, and I was like, ugh, this is so gross. And I just like threw it on the ground. As I threw it on the ground, a police car rolls up and goes whoop whoop. I'm like, shit. And my friend Kelsey's like,
You guys went to her cigarette before she gets
Sucking it
busted?
down.
yeah, just sucking it down hard.
What a lunatic.
And my friend Sarah is just like, whew.
They're both
She's just like, yeah, she's kind of doing it fancier. She's like, whew, whew. My friend Singna's like, what? I don't give a fuck. And I'm like, ooh.
You're like inching away. I don't know these people.
I was like, huh? Yeah, exactly. I'm like, get to the wall. Maybe they won't see me. And one of the officers gets out of the driver's side door. The other one's like, probably like, oh, I know that girl, looking them up and stuff like that.
So he's definitely rolling you guys. Like,
Yeah.
It's clear.
Yeah, it's clear. It's
Yeah.
already happening. Some of us are going to the station.
Oh, goddamn.
He gets out of his car and he's like, oh, hello, ladies. How are y'all doing? We're like, good. I see that there's a bunch of underage girls smoking cigarettes.
Oh, no. That sucks. What a thing to get busted for.
Seriously.
We're like, well, my friend Kelsey, she's like, yeah, at least we're not smoking weed.
Listen, officer. It's cool. I'm not smoking weed, right?
That was always the worst offense.
I'm not banging smack into my eyeball, right? We're good here, right?
Like, this is fine.
And he goes, well, Kelsey, bleep. It's a good thing you're not doing that. He knows her.
Oh, yeah, small town. So
Yeah.
you
Of
know.
course.
Yeah.
And she's like, she gives a cute face, like,
Right. Like,
yeah. And I'm like, oh God, oh God, oh God. I'm like, don't look at me. They're fucking crazy right here. I hope they say something crazy. And he's like, oh, well, let me smell your lady's breath. Just breathe. I'm going to come over and, like, stand by you. And just breathe.
Do you have a warrant to smell my breath, sir?
Yeah.
We're 14. We don't know shit about shit, you know? So he goes over to Kelsey, smells her breath, and he's like, oh, that smells nasty. It smells like cigarettes. He smells Sarah's breath. It smells like cigarettes. It smells Selena's breath. Oh, that smells kind of fruity, like a little boozy. Oh, Sarah, bleep me. He's like, oh, let me smell your breath. Oh, it smells like you should have been smoking cigarettes like all your friends.
Oh, no!
Oh, God damn it.
He's like, Selena, Sarah, patrol car. Yeah, you're going to sit in the back.
No.
Wow. That's some really shitty old school coppery right there.
No shit, dude. What a world. It's
he doesn't handcuff us or anything. Doesn't say that we're under arrest.
Right.
But he's like, get in the back of the car. We're going to take you to the station. We're in the car, just sweating. We're sweating. I'm like, I'm so sweaty.
Right. You got that fight or flight fucking...
Yeah, I'm freaked out. I'm looking at the locks. I'm like, is it locked? Can I jump out? I'm like, that's literally rolling through my head. I'm
kick out the window. Let's go.
I'm like, I could jump out. I could they're not even going that fast. I could roll real fast. I'm only 14. I would heal really fast. They wouldn't know shit. And I could just run home.
Healing factor.
Right.
Well, that's what you think when you're 14. Literally, you're like, I could heal real fast. I was just like, oh, I could get out. I was like, maybe when they get to the station, I could just bolt really fast. They wouldn't even think to chase me. I could run so
he knows
fast.
Your name, right?
Yeah, he does. But
I was gonna say these are all great ideas.
Yeah.
However, in my head, I'm just like, no, I don't want to. I'm gonna deal with it later. I don't want to deal with it right now. I want to deal with it later.
Well, and so wait, okay, so they put you and your other friend in the back of the car.
Yes.
The two girls that they couldn't smell booze on their breath, they just let them go?
They just let them go.
Fuck. Okay.
Despite the fact that they were smoking cigarettes underage.
Yep.
And so then
alcohol was more of an issue at the time.
Well, I mean,
maybe more worth filling out paperwork or driving you home to your parents.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And
so then they just drove you away. Yeah. Did they drive you to the station or did they take you home?
No, they took us to the station.
Fuck. But they didn't technically arrest you, in quotes, arrest you.
Let her
okay, sorry.
You were in the back of the cop car.
Yeah, we were in the back of the cop car. We got to the station. They opened the doors, walked us out, and put both of us in independent interrogation rooms.
Ugh.
One of the officers came in, and it was like, you're in a lot of trouble. I want to
Classic
know
cop move. Yeah.
Where you got this alcohol, what store you bought it from, and what time it was.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't have to tell you anything, because I was drunk at the time, and I was just like, I'm already in trouble.
I love it.
I don't care.
Sarah grew a pair once she was in the fucking interrogation room.
Well, and it's just
so good.
I'm just imagining the swinging fucking single hanging light.
It's like, lawyer!
Yeah. You're going to tell me where you got this alcohol. You're going to give me all the names.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to tell me everything or I'm going to call your parents. And you're just like, I got to tell you shit, copper.
Right. Well, it was a desk and I was on the table and there was one light.
Yeah, dude.
And he
nailed it.
Yeah. And he was just like,
so weird.
he wanted to know where I got it from and who bought it for me. And I was like, well, I don't know who bought it for me. It was just some random dude. He was like, did you shoulder tap?
You ever hey mistered someone? He's like, you mean shoulder tapping?
Yes, exactly.
What are you, from Colorado? Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. I was like, no, you gotta call my dad. And he was like, oh, your dad's on the way.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I was like, ugh.
Yeah. I mean, shitty, but also, this is probably how I'm going to get out of this.
He's like, and he goes, well, if you don't tell me who you bought it from and who, what store it was, we're going to have to take your fingerprints. and then
For
book
what?
you. And you might spend the night in jail.
What? So they're just trying to scare you.
Yeah, they were trying to scare us,
Yeah.
like, badly. And
Yeah.
I was like, I like squinting, because I was really drunk at the time. Like, it was like probably like an hour and a half, 2 hours later. So like the alcohol was really hitting
you're
me,
coming
and
off,
I was
you're
like,
just like, I just need to go to bed.
I was like, I can barely see you. I know you're a police officer, but I don't really care. I'm just like, and I was squinting. I was like, and I remember saying, I was like, I'm thirsty. Can you give me some water? He's like, no, you're just going to sit in here. I was like, and he shut the door. And he's like, I'll come back when... I don't remember what he said. He was just like, I'll come back when we... something.
When you're ready to talk.
Yeah, it was probably that.
Yeah.
And then he shut the door. And the door it was like one of those giant steel doors, and it had a little tiny window. Like a little skinny, long window.
Like a shitty classroom door.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. And I was, oh man, I remember telling stories, like I was telling all these what if scenarios in my head. I was like, okay, what if they get my fingerprints, blah, blah, blah. What's the worst going to happen for me? I was drinking in public intoxication.
Right, you're putting
like,
it together. You're like,
that?
none of this is
I was like, that doesn't
this.
sound bad. I was like, I'll do some community service or something. Like, it's not like I robbed anyone or hurt anyone. I just hurt myself. You know, what are they going to really do?
Right.
And
You're a minor, like, who cares?
Yeah, and I was like, this will get scrubbed off my record when I turn 18.
Right.
I was like, in my head, I'm like, okay, I can handle this. This is fucking no big deal. Whatever. I was like, my dad will probably ground me for like a year. Whatever. I already hate him, so I don't care. You know, so I was just like, oh, whatever. It will piss him off. Yay! So I was like, oh, cool.
Everything's coming up Millhouse.
Right? Yeah.
I was like,
this is actually working out fine.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
I'm
in my
not
head,
worried
it
about
was
any
like
of this.
rationalized. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna piss
Let's
him
double
off.
down on this, actually.
Yeah, I was like, oh, maybe if he come back in, I'm gonna fuck with him even harder. You know, tell him to fuck off or something. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, I'm just like, oh, I'm kind of thirsty. And it's like over 10 minutes. It's over 20 minutes. It's over 30 minutes at least that I'm in this room by myself.
Right, they're letting you stew.
Yeah, they're letting me stew hard, and I'm like, ooh.
Oh no.
Oh, and I get a whoo, real hard, like, you know, in the cheeks, vomit in my mouth. I swallow it down because I'm like,
you're a pro.
yeah, like I'm thinking like
Pro from day one.
I'm like high school parties.
Stone cold pro.
High school parties, you gotta swallow that
You're
shit.
still thinking about that? You're like, I'm never gonna get boys.
We're still in training for this shit.
Yeah,
we're gonna
exactly.
swallow our vomit even though we're in the fucking interrogation room.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. I was
Otherwise,
like,
the boy's never gonna make out with me.
exactly. I'm like, high school parties, okay? Gotta swallow that shit. If I can't handle this shit, then I can't handle a high school party. That's what I was thinking. I was like, this is nothing right
You're
here.
like, plus I get to brag at those parties about that time.
Saved by the Bell fucking ruined you, didn't it? Like,
yeah, I
oh
did.
my God.
Seriously. Okay. And then I go, and then it spittles a little bit, and then all of a sudden it shoots.
Oh, projectile! No!
It starts shooting, and I'm like, I look down, there's no garbage can, but there's a rug underneath the table and the chair, so I lift the rug,
This is so crafty, I love it.
and it goes, and it kind of like scoots underneath, it like channels underneath. I'm like, whew!
You like,
Just aiming your projectile.
you like water bended it.
Yeah, exactly. And all the while, I'm like looking through the mirror, making sure nobody's like giving me eye contact during the whole time. I'm like, and it all goes in there. I'm like, oh, I'm done. And I kind of like wipe my mouth with my shirt and like put the rug back down. And I'm like, oh, they come now because it's gonna start stinking.
Right, it's gonna start smelling like strawberry banana any second now.
Yeah, and you know, it's like 5 or 10 minutes later, and then the door opens and it's like, oh, your dad's here. You can go. I'm like, cool. And I get up and I go, And all the while I'm like walking down the corridor and my dad like sees me, he's like, "You're in trouble." I'm just like, try not to bust up laughing.
Like, if you only knew, like, what happened
I'm like,
15 seconds ago.
exactly. I'm like, oh, I just picked the nastiest puke, and y'all motherfuckers gonna have to clean that up.
Oh, it was straight up Witches of Eastwick.
Exactly. It was Exorcist up in there. It was like hard projectile, fucked up shit. And my dad's like, "You were in so much trouble. You're grounded for life. Blah 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 blah." I'm like, "Heh." Cool. He's like, "You should be so much more ashamed." I'm like, haha, yeah.
Good talk, Dad.
He's like, "I don't know why you're acting like this. You must be still high." I'm like, haha, yeah.
We're gonna go with that.
Yeah,
Can I
exactly.
go home now?
Exactly.
Oh, fuck.
So that's my story.
That's awesome. All right, what happened
So
here?
that's the ultimate troll.
The ultimate troll.
The ultimate troll. Projectile vomiting under the rug of the fucking mean cops interrogation room.
Nice.
I mean, like up top on that. There we go.
I mean, that's probably why
Yeah, I
I'm so
support
trolly
that.
right now.
But no, like, what happened to your friend who also
Yeah,
got
what
pulled
happened to
over?
your friend?
She got released. Her mom
Yeah.
came and picked her up.
So same kind of deal.
Just-
Oh,
Yeah.
she did not puke. She held hers until she got home.
Yeah.
Somehow. I don't know how the
Was
fuck
this
she held
also the one who was like the one to drink first?
it. No.
Okay, so she was one of the ones who knew to smoke cigarettes
Yeah.
heavily.
It's because she started smoking right when she was drinking. So, like, her breath was already intermingled with cigarette smoke.
Yeah.
She was
That's
smart about it.
science.
She
Now-
was smart about it.
Now, hold on. So, epilogue to this. A, did you get charged with anything? Or
Nope.
it was all just to scare you? And then
It
they
was
called
all
your
the
parents?
scare. The
Because they
scare
can't
the
really
shit
charge.
out.
I mean, I guess they could
They could have. I mean,
Not even MIP. I don't know what they
they could
charge
have
with.
like minor
They-
in possession of alcohol,
minor in consumption.
No,
or drunken and
I think
disorderly
you
or something.
can get an MIP for being drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. Well, anyhow.
If you blow on a breathalyzer.
Oh, I never blew. It
Yeah,
was
they didn't
before
give you a
my-
breathalyzer.
Like
Well,
Well,
that-
they didn't
that's how
have
you
that
get a-
technology then, so.
They definitely had breathalyzers then, but they just didn't make you do it.
Right.
No, it was 93. Did they have breathalyzers then?
Absolutely.
Yeah, they
Okay.
did.
They had them
Yeah.
in the 80s.
Oh, well. Maybe this police station did not.
But the,
Where it only had it on one patrol car
I
or
mean,
something like that.
that's a possibility. I mean, Newburgh's a pretty backwards fucking spot.
Yeah, at the time it had a population of maybe 12,000, and that was like in the surrounding
I mean, like, they
area.
might not have had breathalyzers on hand.
I'm
you
just-
know?
It might have been like one car,
well, and
patrol
like,
car that
let's
had
say
it.
they had a few, like those, they're notorious for like becoming uncalibrated and shit like that. So
Right.
they probably only use them for times when they actually had a criminal case they had to pursue.
Well, right. And they're disposable, so it's like, we only got so many of these.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like they're underage. Like they're not
Yeah.
gonna like it's not
Yeah,
gonna get
this
them
is
any
a
money.
real
like,
problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like they're just gonna fucking wait till their parents show up.
Now-
and they were probably like patrolling like in between Dundee and Newburgh because that was like a really short stop, and that's like wine country in there, and so they probably make money.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, yeah.
people with
that's-
money lived over there and stuff like that.
Hold on. How many underage people are going to wineries and getting
No, I'm not
drunk?
talking about
No, no,
wineries.
just
I'm
DUIs.
DUIs.
Oh,
I'm talking about
sorry,
DUIs for
sorry.
like the breathalyzer
I
test.
changed gears a little too
Like any
slowly
cops
there.
that
No, you're
had the
absolutely right.
breathalyzers were.
That was probably a gold mine for that fucking police
Oh yeah,
station.
it was probably
Yeah.
like tons of money.
Well, that is in any city that, or any like town that has another small town sort of in between it.
Yeah.
I mean, the cops just stick on those roads.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Go between those towns and
Highway
just DUI
99
people all
right
day.
there, bam.
Dude, when I was in Maui, they have fucking roadblocks. Where,
They should.
like, you just have to fucking, like, if, yeah, and it's just to check how many people are fucking drunk. And in fact, I can neither confirm nor deny that someone might have had a drink before we drove somewhere, and it wasn't like they were over the limit, but it's
Sure.
like, why fucking go through that shit? You know, like, even if you're
Oh, so it was
sober,
like it was a checkpoint.
Wait, sorry, that's what I meant. Checkpoint.
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
roadblock. Checkpoint. Yeah. So why even fucking bother going through the checkpoint anyway? Because you're just gonna have to be in stop and go traffic. You know. So like, there's a Facebook group on Maui where people just post the fucking locations of the roadblocks.
Yep.
Or I'm sorry, checkpoints. Jesus Christ. It was a G.I. Joe name. So anyway,
roadblock or checkpoint?
both.
Yeah.
So my story doesn't hold a whole lot of water, but
When we, my hometown did checkpoints, but they always did it at Mulberry and College, and that was the only spot ever. So it's like,
right. Well,
unless you're a
random.
moron,
Yeah.
you know. So it was just idiot tax at that point. It was like, oh,
Right.
like, you either
If you
just
drive through
moved
that
here
intersection
or
when
you
you're drunk,
don't
you're an
know
idiot, yeah.
any better. No, and they would reroute you into a parking lot of a closed, sporting goods store. And make you drive this little obstacle course through the cones, and and then at the end of it, they would like check all your shit, and then fucking either let you go or not.
Yeah, here, put on these clown shoes and do a cartwheel. Like,
Basically, man, and you didn't even know what was going on, which I feel bad for the people who didn't know what was going on. I mean, if you're
what if you're a foreign tourist in Colorado, in Fort Collins, you're uncommon, but
yes and no. I mean, we were close enough to ski country, but
fair enough.
But yeah, it's just like, what if you're just out for a night and like didn't realize like, oh shit, I guess it is New Year's Eve, and then you like just cruising down the road, and it's like, and then all of a sudden they veer you off into this parking lot, and then you're like,
hold on, you don't need to go around the go-kart track with the blinders on.
yeah, right, yeah, like, oh shit, I'm driving around cones now, like, what the fuck? Anyhow, okay, so no, second epilogue. Did you ever hear anything about it? Like, did anyone ever say anything about it?
No one ever said anything about it.
To this day, that rug is just, like, glued to the fucking carpet.
Like, I have no idea what
really
happened.
Fruity shellac that's keeping it held down.
It's just full of vomit. The cracks are just concealed by vomit. By strawberry banana, like MD 2020.
Was this
Also-
wall-to-wall carpet all the time? It's like... There's this pink fuzz that's growing from the carpet.
Gross.
Yeah, it's probably normal.
Before I puked, I did knock on the door and was like, help.
I'm sure they were just sweating you. Like, they could hear you in there.
Well, they didn't care. They're like, even if she does puke, like, whatever.
Exactly. It's just going to be further evidence.
Yeah, let her learn her lesson.
Right, and I was
But
like...
they probably didn't have a CCTV, so they probably don't have evidence
there was
of you,
no...
just hosing the fucking underside of that rug.
And there was no garbage cans for me to puke in. I was just like, okay, well, I guess you guys like mopping up puke because that's what's going to happen. And literally, I feel like they opened the door like after the puke maybe like chilled and then like came back up, and it didn't smell like puke or something because they just opened the door and were like,
become
okay,
one with the carpet fibers.
Yes, and they didn't like the guy who opened the door didn't like change his expression. It was just like the solid like stare.
Like,
your dad is here. And
Maybe
I'm
these cops were chain smokers. Maybe they had no sense of smell left. You know, like,
that's also true, okay, because if you do smoke all the time, you have no sense of smell.
Yeah, who knows?
It like kills your taste buds and
or
everything
they
like
didn't
that.
catch
So, like,
it right away or whatever.
Or maybe
but
that room just already smelled like puke. Who knows?
It could have been
room
the puke
probably
room.
didn't smell good.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, maybe that's another reason why I puked in there.
Or maybe,
Holy shit.
maybe like you just already smelled like booze, and so like the room smelling a
That
little
also.
more like booze wasn't surprising to them.
I mean, this is what's hilarious, though. I can't believe that half a bottle of Mad Dog and however many cigarettes and hanging out later that they still were like, oh, we catch that. Or whatever.
Oh, it was so hard. Like, in my head, I'm just like, I know. It's just like, I probably just reeked of this
Well, that's the thing. I mean, like, how much did you weigh at the
fortified
time?
one.
Like 80, 90 pounds?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
that's a good point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that. And
So,
so, yeah.
Half a bottle of Boone's Farm is...
And just like...
Yeah.
Just like you were, I'm like sweating because it's August,
Yeah.
you know, and it's 100 degrees or 98
Right.
degrees.
So-
You're sweating out the alcohol.
Exactly.
And I wasn't smoking cigarettes, so they couldn't. Like, I should have been smoking more because then
I disagree.
This is the only time I'm like, damn it, I should have been smoking
I-
more cigarettes.
You know, even if that was the way to not get cut, I think that you
Yeah, no, you're fine.
you got the story. And
Right, I got the story. I wonder
way
who
better.
cleaned it up, though.
No one, apparently. It's an eternal pile of vomit.
Now,
What killed me, too, is I looked down and, like, it was starting to, like, seep out of the carpet that I had pulled up, and it was just, like, slowly oozing, and I was, like, scooting with my shoe. I'm like, no.
Oh my god!
No. And I'm like,
Holding back the tide.
no, kick it under. You know how you can kick it under, too? Like, when it It's like...
Oh, I don't know how you can kick it under. I'm sorry.
Well, I was kicking that liquid under with my shoe. I was like, kick, and then put it back.
This is a technique that I feel like our audience might require at some time. So,
you can kick vomit under a rug.
The patented Sarah kick under for vomit.
You can look up Sarah's YouTube channel where she teaches all sorts of...
She has tutorials.
Yeah.
How you kick under.
Videos. Yeah. The vomit kick under move.
It's a technique that you can only learn in person.
I only have one more question, which is... So the cops are just doing like a routine like roll through of the parking lot, which I guess they probably would do because that's how they bust underage drinkers and underage smokers.
It was probably like every hour on the hour that they're rolling this parking lot.
Probably.
You know,
fuck, that sucks.
Yeah. And they knew that like all the underage smokers would be in the parking lot.
It's like it's a fucking like a honeypot. It's a computer fucking security term that sounds really bad when you're applying it to underage drinkers. But it's a trap for cops to roll on underage people. Oh god damn it!
Yeah, that's very true. Honeypot. That's a portable toilet too, isn't it?
Honey bucket.
That's a honey bucket.
Okay.
Nice.
Similar.
Hell yeah. Well, shit, that was an awesome story.
Oh yeah.